Well, hello everyone. I'm back again with another video, and today we're going to be doing the part 2 of the Q&A. If you missed the part 1, do check it out. It is linked in the description box. You guys were going to be answering all of the questions from my previous videos while I do acrylic nails on my clients. So sit back and let's begin. The very first question we're going to be entertaining is from Salam Sahid, and this person wants to know if I cut the proximal fold every time I do nails. Now, the proximal fold is what we generally like to call the cuticle, but it isn't actually the cuticle. The cuticle is just, before, or is just ahead of the proximal fold. I think I need to do like a really detailed video to explain better. But now what we normally want to cut when we say I'm going to trim down their cuticles, that is actually the proximal fold. Now you may not need to cut the proximal fold if there is no need to. If the skin is not flaky, if it is not dry, if it is not if it's not crusty, there is no need at all to cut the proximal fold. When I do my sister's nails, I've never actually cut her proximal fold, not once, and that's because she actually does take really good care of them. If you keep them moisturized, there would be no need for you to even trim or cut them. Now, there are some people who have like a lot or like excess of the proximal fold. So when you push back the cuticle, or when you push into like the cuticle area and you sort of lift that, you do get excess. You may need to trim it, but just be careful when you trim so that you don't like cut into, like the life tissue or like the life skin on the person's proximal fold. I hope I've answered that correctly and made myself really clear. I will do a very detailed video on cuticle prep and application, like nail prep, because I already have a request for that. So yeah, let's move into the next question. Next is from Didi Ofuri, and she says, what tips would you give someone starting out as a nail tech but with little to no capital to get the essentials? First off, you want to narrow down what exactly are your essentials. Your essentials would be a brush, it would be monomer, it would be clear or nude powder, depending on your preference. You really want to narrow down to the things that you really need. Nail tips, there are really affordable nail tips that you can buy that cost about 200. Nowadays they are 200 for a small pack, and you can use one per client or one on yourself for practice. So you really want to narrow down what exactly your essentials are. You don't exactly need a dehydrator, for instance. Once you have a very good primer, there's no need to spend money on dehydrator. That money you can use to buy gel polish, for instance, or base or top coat. So you really want to narrow down your essentials to the things that you really need, things that are excruciatingly important for you or to you are the things that you want to get. You can start off with learning how to with using a hand file. Since you can't afford an e-file. I used the hand file for so long before I was able to afford an e-file, and even after I got an e-file, I was so used to using the hand file. It took me a very long time to actually get used to using an e-file. So there are steps to all of these things. All right, so next I would say is for you to not buy glitters or nail charms. All of those things are not exactly a waste of money, but they are a waste of money. You can actually put in that money to buying things that you need. For instance, primer, for instance, gel polish. You don't exactly need to buy yourself glitters. Like when you just start out as a nail tech, glitters and nail charms are the list of your priorities. Primer, a very good nail brush, good powders, good monomers, those are the things that you really want to get. Now, in terms of practicing your nail art, you don't need to go for a nail training at a previously or like at an already learned nail tech. there's lots of videos on YouTube. This one is even a video, a nail tutorial on how to do nails, this video that you're watching. So get on YouTube, watch and learn how to improve on your skills without having to even spend any money. So, and then for practicing, you want to practice more on yourself than on other people when you're just starting out, because when you practice on yourself, you get to know and learn, okay, this is how I'm going to do this, that is going to, is going to like, this is how my client is going to feel when I do this. So you learn and you practice certain things on yourself, how to improve better. Even at like when you're doing your nail prep, you get to learn better how to do things in a much neater and in a much pain-free way, and then you're able to practice on somebody else. So I think I've said like 4 things: buy essential items, okay, don't buy glitters, practice on on yourself rather than on other people at first, and then learn at little to no cost by just watching nail tutorials on YouTube, on Instagram, on Pinterest as well. And yeah, so learn the basics before you start to even learn nail art, because learning nail art does cost money. You're going to need to start buying lots of things, and if you don't already know how to work well with acrylics, there's no need for you buying all these other like things for nail art, glitters like I said, and all that. So you want to learn and focus on the basics more than putting your mind on glitters and all that stuff. So just narrow down your expectations to the reality of learning nail or learning how to do nails. Okay, so that was quite an intense question 2. Let's move to question 3 to see what we've got. Question 3 is from Are You There? And she says, how did you start your nail business, including trainings, and how you got customers? So first off, I'm just going to put this out there that I am actually self-taught. I didn't actually go to nail school. I did not train with like a previously learned nail tech. Everything that I know when it comes to doing acrylic nails, when it comes to doing polygel, when it comes to doing any gel extension that I know how to do, I've had to learn on my own through YouTube, or just trying to figure it out on my own. That being said, I started to do nails fully. I started to learn how to do nails fully in 2020. That was during the lockdown time. I started doing nails fully in 2020. By 2021, when school resumed, where everywhere was like sort of back to normal, I went back to school, and trying to get people to do their nails was like it wasn't so hard, because at that time, like for me, it wasn't very hard because it wasn't exactly my priority compared to now when I've just opened my salon. You guys, I have to give you a tour soon. Compared to now when I've just opened my salon and I'm trying to build clients, then building clientele wasn't exactly my priority. It was just like I do nails and it's sort of like a hobby that I'm taking seriously, and I'll do your nails if you want to. But anyways, like after a while, I wanted to try to build like clientele, and then I also wanted to keep practicing, especially on other people. So I had like hand models that I would work with, and these people were either my friends or like my hostel mates that had observed their hands, and they had like really good hands that could pose for me. So I'd call them over to my room, because in school I was staying alone, right? So I set up like a space to do nails, and I'd call them over to my room, and then I'll do their nails. And I did that over for like a couple of months, and before I knew it, I started having people actually book me when I was in school. So the student area that I found myself in became an advantage. I had people coming over to my room on Saturdays, on Sundays, on Fridays, just to come and have their nails done. So one way to build clients, I think, is through hand models, or like sort of like brand influencers, but like hand models. You basically have their nails done, and they showcase your work for you. Here now in my salon, that's sort of like what I do, except on the low. So, but I do nails on myself, I do nails on others, and then I post, or I just, like hope that they get back to me, which eventually they do. So that's one of the ways. The second way is through ads and promotions, I believe. Right now, when I say, the reason I say I believe is because I've been doing a few ads and I haven't exactly gotten feedback. But the thing with these ads, it does take a little time, but it will eventually pick up, especially when your salon or when your business is literally just starting out. I mean, I just opened my salon a month ago, so you guys, you can see like like things do take time. So yeah, so that's like how I started doing nails. That's like how I or that's like when I started doing nails. I think the how I started doing nails is like a video for another day. But basically that's like the when I started doing nails, how I was able to build clients in school. And basically I'm trying to build clients here now, that I've opened my salon here back at home, because I'm done with school now. I'm literally just waiting to go for NYSC. So yeah, you guys, let's move to the next question. Next is from Cindy, and she says, do you apply the nails on your right hand yourself? The answer is yes. I actually do my right hand myself, although it does take me longer, and sometimes like the designs never come out as clean or as smooth as I want them to be, but I actually do my right hand myself. I think with more practice, I'll be able to do even better, and I'll be able to do like sort of even the same designs, or like more complicated designs that I do on my left hand. My right hand is my dominant hand, is the one I use to do everything, and my left hand is my non-dominant hand. I am not ambidextrous, although I sometimes try to be. I sometimes try to be, and I think right now I'm just at that stage where I'm training my left hand to do like almost all the things that my right hand can do, including doing nails. So my acrylic application isn't so shabby, but when it comes to the filing, there's usually like a bit of hiccups here and there, but I actually get it done. And sometimes on some days I get it done perfectly well. So I'm still learning how to do my right hand properly. Next question is from my Instagram, from Stephen Blessing, and she says, how do you make a client's nail last longer? A client's nail would last longer through very good nail prep with a good primer, very good application, and a very good filing technique to seal in the cuticle area, and that's just it. You guys, that's all of the questions I can entertain on this particular video. I hope I've been really helpful. This is the final result. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. In my next video, I'll be attending to this particular request. Do have a great day. Bye.